We are
and welcome back. And I'm pumped up. I'm excited. We're back for part 2 of day 4 in what will be known as perhaps the biggest virtual event of all time when it comes to leadership and when it comes to the number of speakers. We have about 150 speakers that have been a part of this 4-day summit, and we're now at the tail end of it. 150 speakers handpicked from around the world. And to the best of my knowledge, that's the biggest leadership themed virtual event of all time when it comes to number of speakers. And the CEO, the former CEO of Guerrilla Marketing, said, "Good work, everyone." When the world's foremost expert on marketing, David Fagan, says, "Good work," you know you're doing something right. So I want to thank everyone in the virtual auditorium. Kaya, I'm going to give you the floor, and I'm going to give you control of everything moving forward. Okay, Kaya, the floor is yours.
Hey, that's a lot of trust. Wow, thank you. A huge shout out to Satish Verma, the CEO of the Think and Grow Rich Institute, carrying on the torch of Napoleon Hill. Another huge shout out to the man, they say the man, the myth, the legend. No, the man that's here, that's making it happen, that brought all of these dreams together in this time, in this place, CEO Mo Rock, and the even greater, shall I say, woman, not behind him, to his side, Ava. You both are rocking it. And I want to give an enormous amount of credit to all of you who have you've stuck through this. You know, you're here. You're the journeymen. You're the journeywomen. You're those that are going to do whatever it takes to get yourself the specialized knowledge. So I am a success coach, Kaya Redford, and the creator of a program called Top Producing Faster to Your Wealth and Freedom, where we help leaders, entrepreneurs, influencers, salespeople, real estate, mortgage, financial services, anybody that's got stuff to sell, to be able to sell more, do more, have more, be more, and change the world at the same time. And this world changer, Dr. Neda, my gosh, this woman, you can bring her on stage. She is, you know, certain people just have that energy. Certain people are we're all spiritual beings living in a human body. Yes. But there are certain people that you feel their spirit, you feel the genuineness, you feel the heart and the soul. They say they wear it on their sleeve. She wears it everywhere. You feel it. This is Dr. Neda. Dr. Neda has been a doctor, chiropractor, acupuncturist, helping thousands of people solve and heal their pain. And let's bring her on stage, because let's get to see her here. There she is. There she is. She is helping people live a healthy, pain-free life. And she's been doing this for 25 years. She owns her own line of natural weight loss products, as well as male enhancement drinks. And when I heard that, I'm like, okay, what is that? And we had a conversation, and I said, you mean like libido? She says, yeah. I know couples that one of the challenges they have in their relationship is the man has lost his libido, his testosterone. So we'll get into that topic. And she has been hugely impacted by Think and Grow Rich, the reason why she's here. Can I call her the Persian Oprah or the new Oprah? She has her own show called The White Seat with Dr. Neda. She interviews high value men. Was I on her show? I was on her show. And she's interviews men who are leading from their hearts. She started this global movement called OM, Awakening, OM, Awakening Hearts Movement, not awakening, but OM, Awakening Heart Movement. Huge project where she's bringing people together with all the stuff that's going on in the world. One of her true passions is uniting men and women and the planet. And she did this. She started this vision, and she'll touch on that because she has two teenage sons, Ryan and Nico. And she lives in Dana Point. She loves dogs. She's got a beagle called Duke, all this other stuff. She started this vision because of that. What she's going to share with us today is her transformation. And more importantly, how to maintain our happiness. If you want to learn how to maintain your happiness and be grounded and peaceful and centered and powerful in the midst of a world that's completely in chaos and in breakdown, she's a testament to that. So she's going to be teaching us that today. So Dr. Neda, welcome to
Thank you, Kaya. What an introduction.
And by the way, that's the white seat. Do you see to the right there?
Yeah.
Actually, the white seat that she sits on. And can you show the other side? That's the other white.
These are the white seats.
You've had some very powerful people in those white seats. But before we get into that, with every great story, I know that you went through a lot of challenges, being a girl, being a woman in a third world country, and a bunch of stuff. share with us a little bit the adversities you faced growing up and how Think and Grow Rich transformed your life.
Yes, I grew up. I mean, I was born in Iran, as everybody knows, in Middle East, and then I grew up and I was raised in Turkey, Istanbul, and everybody knows in the Middle Eastern countries, the women don't really get the education, the privileges that the men get. So growing up, it was very, very difficult to even. There was this double standards. Of course, my brother can go and play outside, but I had to stay home. Don't go. You're a girl. You stay home. And also, besides all of that, the internal.
There's the Beagle Duke.
That's Duke.
Oh my gosh, he's so cute.
He wanted to make an appearance.
He made an appearance. He's the star. Yep.
Yes. And as I was mentioning it to you, growing up, my dad was the most amazing human being on the planet. He passed away in 2019. But he was a full-on alcoholic, functioning alcoholic. So, with Think and Grow Rich, faith has always been my number one savior. So since I think I was born, I was always into the mysteries of life, and there's something higher, and I always knew there was something way bigger than myself. And that's one of the principles in Think and Grow Rich that has always, absolutely, I've practiced and I've believed in, and got me through so many difficult times. So definitely faith. Do you want me to go through the?
Yeah, we had a chat and you pointed out 3 big things. And if you don't mind just sharing some specific examples of your life in the context of faith and then decision making. And you even said how you married someone, decide that in 24 hours, and then sixth sense. So share with those between those 3 principles in Think and Grow Rich: faith, decision making, and sixth sense. Give us some examples of how you applied those or how those transform your life.
With faith, it's a number one thing in my life. The faith that I have, it's number one. Everything that I do, every decision. I mean, even in the morning when I wake up with gratitude, and I know that everything is going to be always okay. And I always pray that I can serve people on this little time we get on the planet. Whatever I can contribute, that's what I want to do. And it's really interesting because we always think we make decisions, but how much of our decisions we really make, if you really get into it, not so much. We think we are in control, but we really are not. Free will is a concept that's being studied right now. And I feel like if you made decisions, we would be way worse. We're better off that we don't make so many decisions. And subconsciously, we decide on so many things. Of course, we need to work on that. But for me, with the faith that I have, I always try to go with the flow and know that everything will be okay. So any decision that I make, including, as I told you, with my marriage, even with my practice, when I wanted to when I was deciding what to do in life, going to school, taking biology classes and everything, every day I wanted to be something different. And I started really praying and honing in like, okay, God, show me the way, because I don't know what to become in life. I know I want to help people, but there's so many different areas that I can do that. And of course, as he always comes through, we were invited to these people's homes that I didn't even know, and their kids were going to chiropractic school. And my brother had pain at the time. He's younger than me. And for the first time I heard of chiropractors, and we took my brother and he got healed in one session. So I was like, oh my God, I know exactly what I want to be in life. And I always believe it's faith. And I always believe that the guidance, every decision that I've made in my life, knowing that I have faith and I'm being guided, it really helps. That's faith. The decision making, I'm a kind of person that jump and then you'll figure it out.
Yeah, exactly. Right. So many people are, that's amazing. It's like shoot and then point the arrow after you shoot it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You don't know where it's going to be. And, personal thing, I was 9 months old when I got up and started walking. I never crawled. So, I'm an action oriented person. I'm like, this crawling thing is not going to work for me. I'm just going to get up and start walking. I believe that sometimes when many times when we overthink things, our brain can play tricks on us. So decision making, I mean, I'm not just saying, well, I am saying actually, because on the second date, I said yes to my ex-husband. I mean, I knew him for 3 hours, basically total.
Right.
you know, decision making, fast, quick decision making has always worked really well for me. Even if it didn't, because of my faith, I always believe that was the right decision. Even
Mm,
if people from the outside think it wasn't, I believe it if it wasn't for the highest good of everyone, it wouldn't have happened.
mm,
So they go together, the decision making and faith.
and
And then, of
faith.
course, the sixth sense is the intuition, and I believe we all have it. And some of us, like you and I, the Scorpios, we are a little bit more in tune with our intuition. We were born a little bit more into, not to discriminate, but yeah, the sixth sense. You know how when, so many times I would have a feeling that, okay, I'm not supposed to go to this meeting, or I am supposed to be there. And then I found out that, it's a life changing event. And I don't like, my sixth sense always tells me, or if there's a negative energy, I know that I pick up on that. I'm very energy sensitive anyway to begin with. So the sixth sense was like, these three things are like daily events basically in my life. And
And
the
they,
rest of,
yeah, and they just go so hand in hand,
yes.
faith and then taking action on it. We've been hearing quite a bit. People are talking about faith and taking action. And because it's been just go, 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 that what are the last 6 letters in the word attraction? We always talk about law of attraction. Most people go, I don't know, what's the last 6 letters of the word attraction?
What's the
It's
last six? Action, of course.
action. You can't attract nothing if you're not taking action. You got to make the
In
decision.
Farsi,
And the
they say,
sixth sense.
in my language, they say from you action, from God blessings. And it's
Oh
true.
my gosh.
Take
Type
the
that in the
step
comments, someone. From you action and from
from
God
God.
blessings.
Yeah.
Beautiful. So I know you wanted to share, some tools. We talked about how to maintain your happiness and how to be grounded and peaceful and centered in the midst of the world that is chaotic and in breakdown. You came from a place, from a origin of the world where there's a lot of conflict, and there's been a lot of conflict for thousands of years. And so how have you reached this really, you're super successful. You've got businesses for acupuncture and for chiropractic work. You're starting your own podcast. By the way, she doesn't even have this in her bio, but she's also a DJ. She
Oh my God,
DJ,
yes.
she's a DJ extraordinaire. Are you gonna book her to DJ for your next party? And she likes that good bouncing music. She's you are a socialite. You're always having gatherings. And so how have you found this, and what can you teach us some steps for all of us amidst the world in chaos and drama going on in the world, in our household, with our finances, with our kids, how do we have the joy of living like you do?
Oh, thank you, Kaya. You've changed my life. I mean, you were my coach, so you're the best. You really, and Om, everybody. He even came up with Om, OHM. He came up with the name. So I'm grateful to you forever. And talking about gratitude, I think that's where everything really boils down to. Because when you have gratitude, you cannot judge a person. You cannot criticize a situation when you're always in the gratitude mode. So the
Mm,
technique that I use all the time is because our brains go crazy. We're always thinking with all the chaos that's happening around us and in the world, the brain is always going 10,000 miles per hour.
yes.
So really, we cannot really just be in our brains, because a lot of people have insomnia. I see a lot of patients who cannot sleep, and it could even be not their energy. It could be like the collective's energy too. So with acupuncture, I help them. But they say live from your heart. It's the heart center that our base is in our heart. That's where the love is. That's where we can get connected to everything and everyone. So the technique that I use, that I've learned, is called the mind heart coherence technique, that you connect the heart and the heart and the brain together with gratitude, the mode of gratitude. And what happens is, once you do that 3 minutes a day, believe it or not, I mean, I
Can we
do
can
5.
we can we can we tap that in the chat? It's called
Mind heart coherence technique.
mind heart coherence. Okay, perfect. Okay, break that
Yeah,
down for us,
everybody can
please.
YouTube that. It's on YouTube.
Okay.
And one of the best authors, Greg Braden. I mean, he is an incredible human that I follow, and I learn a lot from him. But this is such a simple technique. It's just 3 minutes.
Mm,
I do it for 5 minutes, but you can do it for 3 minutes in the morning. I do it
mhm,
3 minutes at night as well. But it's just that connecting your brain to your heart. So you just put your hands in your heart to bring the attention to the heart, because wherever we put our hands in our bodies, even if you're in pain, you can put one finger on the pain area. Sorry about that, Dookie. Yeah, sorry about that. You can put one finger in the pain area and then concentrate on that area, and it will, like, you're bringing the attention of healing to that area. So the same thing you can do it, putting both hands into your heart, closing your eyes, and really centering, taking a couple of breaths. And what happens is your body slows down, you become very calm, and you start doing gratitude. So the thing is, once you start thinking about gratitude, that's your brain, you're bringing to your heart. And it's been proven that, I mean, he was doing so much research to what happens to these people who do that. The immune system increases, I think it was saying 60%. Your anxiety goes away. The way that you react to things during the day becomes much better, calmer. You can make better decisions. It's life changing, just 3 minutes a day. And once you do that, you're closing your eyes, you just start saying what I mean, I put my timer on my phone, and I start saying whatever I'm grateful for, like for my boys, for my health, for my house, for my dog, whatever that you're grateful for, you just keep saying it 3 minutes. It is like incredible. It works like magic. And I would recommend that, especially since we all, I mean, it, I believe
mm,
in it. If you do something, it affects the whole, all of us.
mm,
Once, let's say you change your diet, it's not just for Kaya. If I'm
mm.
doing this, it's not just for Neda. It's for the whole planet. We're raising the consciousness and the energy
Mm,
of the planet. So just imagine more and more people calming down. We
mhm.
can. I really believe in humanity. I mean, a lot of people have given up humanity. I believe in humanity. I think we're incredible, and I think we're going to be okay at the end. So, but little steps that we take, it really affects all of us. So even if I don't want to do it for me, because I'm very human and other people oriented, I'm like, no, I need to do this for the whole planet. So I can't miss my little 3 minute meditation or whatever we want to call it. So yeah,
These are such powerful tools and so simple, and
yes,
they've been around for thousands of years,
yes.
and it's just a testament to, your state, your aura, your energy when you walk in a room. I've been, at events with you, and there could be 500 people there, and you're the life of the entire party.
Oh,
You're also, you have this energy that it just doesn't seem like there's any end to it. It's just ongoing. And so you're tapping into a force and energy. And I know that Think and Grow Rich and Napoleon Hill was really talking about that, really being connected. And so when you're really connected and you're using the tools, that's so powerful. So tell us a little bit more about Om and the white seat. And I know that one of the things that you're really passionate about, you've shared a lot about Think and Grow Rich and your transformation there. One of the things you're really passionate about is sort of removing the stigma of this. And again, could we, not that we're getting controversial, just that everybody has a different stance on everything. And really the
absolutely.
question is, how can we just come from love? So my intention of bringing up this topic is just, how can we all come from love and empower everybody? Women empower men, men empower women, and all win together. And so you want to help shift, because you have two teenage sons. I have two sons, 20, Kaya Jr. is 25 and Timur is 24. And you have two teenage sons, and you want them to feel like they can be all that they can be. And you want to help remove this stigma, or heal this stigma around this toxic masculine. And that's part of the reason why you're having this thing called high value men. So just share with us a little bit your passion on that. And then, anything that you want to share on that would be great.
Yeah, you know what? I mean, as I said, I grew up in Middle East where women have been for thousands of years. There's double standards. Women don't get the rights to do many things. Now it's shifting a little bit, but it's been like that forever. But I feel like now the pendulums are, it's always the pendulum. Now it's switching, and I don't want for the next thousands of years for men to get abused, because
Ah,
it's almost like, not like we're headed that way. I don't think men will stand for that, honestly. But at the same time, why create more separation? Why can all of us get along? Like, that's my whole thing. Why do we have to put somebody else or another sex to feel better or say we're in control? Or, I mean, why can't we
yeah.
all bring, as humans, whatever you are, you're young, you're old, you're man, you're female, whatever you identify as, why can't we all accept each other and respect each other and love each other? I
Yeah.
mean, that's my whole point. And because I have two sons, that's why I started this In the White Seat with Dr. Netta. It's on YouTube. And I, interview men like yourself, high value men. And
And
when I
Mo
say,
Rock and Rex Sykes coming up, and
oh,
definitely Mark Victor Hansen. So we definitely want to put some of the powerful speakers on this platform, on that white seat, because you'll help shed
absolutely.
a new perspective. Yes.
Absolutely, especially because these men, if how do I identify a high value man? Because right now, especially with social media, they're saying men need to be 6 foot tall, has six packs and Bugattis. No, this is not. This is what teenagers are. I have teenage sons, so I'm like, no, 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 no. The whole concept is absolutely wrong. So my definition of high value men, this movement is about men who live and lead from their hearts.
Mm.
This, in my definition, these are the men who are leading from the heart. They don't have ego problems, that they don't have this, I'm better, I'm this, I'm that. It's all about understanding, centered, grounded men. So I want my boys to look up to men like yourself. That's
Mm.
what I would like them to be like, the good examples. That's why I even
Mm.
started this whole thing, basically. So yeah.
And so, Dr. Netta, I know that you have a wealth of wisdom and knowledge. How do people find you? You have an incredible following. You've got an enormous amount of followers on Instagram, and obviously we know why, because you are focused out. You're focused on helping people. You see the light in everybody, and so tell us, how do the people find you on Instagram, LinkedIn, and I believe you have 2 websites as well, and then also I think you have a free gift.
Yes, I do. I do. So I'm on Instagram. All my social media is public. So nothing is private. Everybody can find me, and all whatever I do in life, people can see Dr. Netta. If they just put Dr. Netta, DRNEDA, they can find me on LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and the websites are Dr. Netta, spelled out DOCTR, Dr. Netta, NEDA.com. And my other website is for natural fat loss. It's called the thenaturalfatloss.com. So those are the 2 websites. And then as we were talking, I said, if people want to try the fat loss, if they want to lose the weight, or if they want to, I mean, this is only for men, increase.
Increase their libido.
Believe it or not, I drank the product. It didn't do anything to me.
I did. Well, I'm glad. If it's going to help men, I'm glad it didn't do anything for you, because if it's helping you, I would wonder.
I just want to see what it tastes like. And I'm
It
like,
tastes
anything?
like
Nothing happened. Yeah,
beautiful.
so we can give those for free. Yes.
All right,
They can.
Dr. Netta, we continue to love you, grow with you, and
Thanks.
we want you in this journey with us. Maybe deliver one of our, just not even a panel interview, but actually deliver, some tools. So for those of you that are wanting to continue attending these live events, I'll invite Dr. Netta, I'll invite Dr. Khalil Ali, I'll invite the mayor. We're going to be partnering up. We're already partnering up with the Los Angeles Tribune, and then also with Think and Grow Rich, Satish Verma, from the CEO there. And if you want to attend any of these free live events as my guest, in addition to the attendees that are already here, you can text the word TOP, T-O-P, to 26786. Again, just text the word TOP, T-O-P, to 26786. I'm going to be bringing the Los Angeles Tribune and Mo Rock all to the Fortune 500 companies that we coach and train, along with Think and Grow Rich. And let's create an even greater family where we can win, win, win.
Absolutely, Kaya. God bless you. Thank you for everything that you're doing for this planet, for all of us. Really. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. And we're going to go to our commercial break and we'll see you soon. We got Dr. Khalila Ali. We've got the #1 producer in San Diego, California. And we've got Mayor Paul Leon. We've got some exciting interviews. And then the one and only Mark Victor Hansen, the man that sold over 400 million copies of their books. Incredible. Coming tonight as well, or coming up very shortly. See you soon. Thank you so much, Dr. Neda.
Thank you, Kaya. Thank you.
Welcome to the Los Angeles Tribune page. Here you will find original news programming, exclusive digital events, and shows that are directly from the community. At the Los Angeles Tribune, we believe in giving a voice to the voiceless. We are proud to be the only national brand to empower everyday people to make a difference. Since 1886, our reputation has been built on truth and responsibility. Thank you for watching and making a difference.
For general inquiries, contact today. Thank you on behalf of the Los Angeles Tribune team.
And as you're joining us, we are teeing up the incredible leaders, Gabe Mendes and Cherish. They are incredible. They have literally transformed their lives, came from very, very humble beginnings. He is considered the top 1% on social media in the industry of real estate. He's a #1 top 1% realtor as well. He has enormous following on Instagram. And what he's going to be sharing with you today is how to, well, first his journey, his journey, of course, with Think and Grow Rich and the transformation he experienced with that. But he's also going to go into social media and how he's able to triple your results, your income, your team, your revenue in a very short period of time. Always social media, doing it the right way, what to say, what to post, how to post it. He is the guru. He's the expert. He has the proven concept. So as we're waiting to tune this, to set up this interview, I'd like for you to just type in the comments, Dr. Neda, wasn't she a beautiful light? What breakthroughs did you get? What insights did you get? Type in the comments. What did you learn? What were your breakthroughs from her? Amen. Yeah, it was it was definitely a spiritual interview. Yes. What breakthroughs, what comments did you get? I think for me, just hearing her share her story, growing up in Iran and third world country. And, you know, some people in the world, they don't just feel stuck. They are stuck for different reasons. And to go after your dream and to persevere and to have faith, right? The faith the size of a mustard seed. You know, something that I learned from Bob Proctor, incredible man, incredible leader who has been on this platform. God rest his soul. He's returned home, shall I say. Bob Proctor had in his book, in his program called Think and Grow Rich, and he had a program called The Science of Getting Rich, which was based on Wallace D. Wattles' 1904 book, Science of Getting Rich. Bob Proctor taught about faith, and he referred to in the Bible when they talk about having faith the size of a mustard seed. And what was so mind-blowing is that, thank you, Anika, learning about mind-heart coherence technique. I'm like, that sounds like some science I want to learn. So Bob talked about having faith, and he talked about, referring to the Bible, having faith the size of a mustard seed. And I had a breakthrough because he reframed it in a way that I was able to see it differently. He said, why did in the Bible, why does it say faith the size of a little mustard seed? Have you seen the mustard seed? Have you seen how titchy that little thing is? If you're going to talk about having faith, why wouldn't you say, have the faith of Mount Everest? Don't we all want to have the faith of Mount Everest? Have the faith of Mount Everest, and then you'll achieve your dream. No, in the Bible, it says faith the size of a little mustard seed, which is a titchy little thing. And Bob explained it like this. He says, why? Because in that little mustard seed, in that little thing, if you have faith in that little mustard seed, you can't have doubt. If you have faith in that little mustard seed, you can't have doubt. Faith and doubt cannot coexist. They're exact opposites. So all you need, and this was a breakthrough for me, all you need to do, according to this, is even have a little faith. A little faith. Seeing that light at the end of the tunnel. That's why Sir Peter Magna, his share when he had his liver transplant. That's why with me, when I had to have open heart surgery, I'm turned 50. Some people go, 50? You don't look 50. I'm 50. I'll be turning 51 in next month. I had open heart surgery in 2014. I was 41. And they said, you have an ascending aortic aneurysm. And it's the silent killer. It's the swelling of the artery above the heart. I don't know if you can see, but you can maybe even see a little bit of a line here, right here. See that line here? It goes all the way down here. You have a little swelling of your artery above your heart. And basically, this is how we lost Albert Einstein, how we lost Lucille Ball, how we lost John Ritter. We lost those individuals because that artery that had swollen eventually just ruptured, and the person passes away in a matter of minutes, or in actually seconds. And it's called a silent killer because there is no symptoms. They said you're lucky because you came in with shortness of breath, but shortness of breath is not a symptom of an ascending aortic aneurysm. I felt the pinching pain on my chest. They said, there are no symptoms. What brought you in to that hospital? We don't know. And they were going to send me home because they ran a bunch of tests. They still didn't see anything. They were going to prescribe me, get a load of this. They were prescribing me to go to a psychologist because you're saying you're feeling pinching pain on your chest. There's nothing. We've just done an EKG. We've done an ultrasound. We've done an echocardiogram. There's nothing there. And you're saying you have shortness of breath. We think you have anxiety. They're literally writing a prescription for me to go to a psychologist. And then right as I'm getting ready to leave the hospital, this is Loma Linda here in California, right as I'm about to leave the hospital, they said, someone walked in and said, hold on a second. We have good news and bad news. And I'm like, okay. Do you want the good news or bad news? I'm like, give me the good news. I was just confused. I was so confused going to see a psychologist now. They said, the good news is you don't have to see a psychologist. The bad news is you cannot leave the hospital. Within 24 to 48 hours, you have to undergo open heart surgery. I went through this deep depression. My doctor, I'm writing a book called Resurrected, From Misery to Happiness. I might change the name slightly, but it's something like that. From misery to success, misery to happiness. And Dr. Gary Cohen, Dr. Robin Cohen, he's the heart surgeon. He says, yes, he'll be in the book. He said, you're going to go through a depression. He says, you are going to go through a depression because it is a very traumatic surgery. People just don't bounce back from that. Usually that surgery happens to someone in their 70s or 80s. And of course, I went through very difficult time because I couldn't, they gave me a pillow. They gave me a pillow that when you cough, you have to have a pillow, a heart-shaped pillow that I would pin against my chest because when you cough, it's so painful. They're worried about the scar opening. They're worried about the pressure of the cough opening your chest up from the surgery. And I remember being in trepidation. I remember being scared that I might need a cough, that if I cough, I'm going to hurt myself. And I had to have a vision. I had to have a vision. I had to vision. I sat in the hospital bed and I made a goal that in 6 weeks I was going to be back in the seminar room transforming lives. I had to make a goal. I had to see a vision that was beyond where I was in this moment. And then there was the road back of healing and the journey back. And it was very difficult. And you hear all these stories of individuals, and maybe you're going through something now. Maybe you've already been through something and you're on the other side of it. All we get to have is that faith of that little mustard seed. Knowing that you're here for a reason, you're here for a purpose. There's a higher calling. And if you're given the second chance, third chance, fourth chance, maybe it's not a surgery. Maybe you've recovered from something, alcoholism or something else, some other challenge or poverty or abuse or whatever it is that we've gone through. You're given a second chance. And Think and Grow Rich is really, and if you've read the other book, and Rex, thank you for joining. If you've read the other book, Outwitting the Devil, that's actually the book that describes what I'm talking about. Because Napoleon Hill, did you know, after he became this incredible best-selling author and had all that fame, he ended up going into a depression not too long after. And he ended up meeting his invincibility. He ended up meeting what was holding him back, which, as he goes into in the book, Outwitting the Devil, he talked about it, conversation with the devil. He went into the darkness, and he came right back to the light and continued the legacy. So no matter where you are, if you're at the top of the mountain, know that things can happen, and we've got to stay on the course. And Rex, you're a man that has been so dedicated to this journey and such a consummate giver of support for all the amazing speakers and lights here. And I know what your thoughts are from that book. I don't know, Outwitting the Devil. I'm sure you've read that one too. And, you've had your own life experiences of challenges. You share, please.
Well, I just wanted to say what a powerful example of resurrection and positivity and sensitivity and humanity you are. Just an amazing journey, an amazing story. I want to thank you so much for sharing that with us, because not everybody will say, oh, I had to face this, but you faced it and got through it. The beauty of it, and in this no way diminishes any of it, and this is what I think some people miss, is that when you go through an experience like this and you come out the other side, no matter how long it takes or how short that time frame is, you've accomplished something so incredible. And other people think, well, yeah, but he can do it, but I can't do that. But the fact that you can do it doesn't diminish the fact that, that doesn't take away from the fact that it's a huge thing. And it just goes to show that little mustard seed of faith that you described is so powerful to get you through it. And what it is a testimony to you being an overcomer and making, your life be your life, as opposed to letting anything dictate who you are or what you're going to do. I think it's just so beautiful. And I wanted to be able to say that and experience it, because you very profound. Thank you for this.
I thank you for just holding space for myself and everybody else that's going through and really helping people type that up, write that down. Faith the size of a mustard seed. And we've heard this a few times before, which is the challenges that we go through shape us into the new person we become, right? They say God doesn't give you anything that you can't handle or that you don't have the ability. And when I call it God, I could call it source, love, infinite universe, whatever it is, different religions, different faiths. The Think and Grow Rich book for me, when I read it, was a very spiritual book.
Yes.
Very correlates with everything else. And I was dealing with my ego. I was dealing with my own insecurities and my own stuff. And I'm this coach and and I know I've learned all these things. I'm a neuroscience trainer, neurolinguist, trainer, success coach. I've trained all these. So I thought I was it.
Oh. But
I got humbled. I got that experience took me out of my head and into my heart.
I don't want to interrupt you, but isn't that amazing? Yeah. I mean, it's like life is the great leveler, and it shows us that we're all pretty much the same. And if we ever get too haughty, it kind of brings us back. And if we get too low, it brings us back up. I mean, it really, there's a wisdom in consciousness that is beyond our description. That's why Hill and mystics for eons have had difficulty, putting it into words. I agree with you, and I've maintained I've read Think and Grow Rich since I was 6 years old, and regularly since I was 11. But I've maintained that it's indeed a spiritual book.
Mm.
And to go back to Ben and to Mo and the secret being action, the very first action we all need to take is to get our thinking right.
Yeah.
So that we can get the feeling right. And the feeling gets the thinking right, it's synergistic. And then all the other actions fall into place, because we're doing right action at that point, as opposed to trying to do things. We're following what comes from who we are. And you're such a beautiful example of that, Kai. I appreciate it. And I want to give you a moment to speak, but we also are going to go to a commercial after that and then come back.
Yes.
So.
I don't have anything else to share. Just this was incredible. So whenever we're ready, we can go to commercial break.
And so we shall, and we'll be back. And thank you so much. This has been really beautiful.
We still have Dr. Khalila Ali. We have Gabe Mendez, and we have also Angel and Patty Hernandez, other people that we have so much to learn from other individuals, all the way up to 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time tonight. See you guys soon.
We'll be right back.
Hello and welcome to the Los Angeles Tribune. Since 1886, our name has been a part of the world of journalism. We've earned a reputation for being a publication that practices integrity, authenticity, and responsibility. For general inquiries, contact today. Thank you on behalf of the Los Angeles Tribune team. Hello and welcome to the Los Angeles Tribune. Since 18...
And we are live with the power couple extraordinaire. And just before I introduce them, why are we here? We are here because of Think and Grow Rich, Napoleon Hill, the movement. Shout out to the incredible Satish Verma, who is the CEO of the Think and Grow Rich Institute. And also shout out to the LA Tribune. Yes, the Los Angeles Tribune, one of the oldest newspapers in American history, back from 1886, and CEO Mo Rock. I am your interviewer, success coach for Fortune 500 companies, and also the creator of Top Producing Faster to Your Wealth and Freedom, where we help entrepreneurs, leaders, influencers, salespeople break through to even greater success and wealth. And a person and a couple that is a testament to this is the only, one and only, Gabe Mendez. Let me tell you, this man and this lady, husband and wife couple, power couple, top 1% in real estate in San Diego, but not just in real estate, in leadership. social media. There's so many things to learn from them as a power couple, and they're going to share some tools with you today, but a little bit more about them. They really represent hard work, discipline, and honesty, and how to get people's attention and how to drive that attention to a positive outcome. Very humble beginnings, great motivators. As I mentioned, Gabe is top 1% in San Diego. In his 10-year real estate career, he's sold over 100 homes in 21, 22, which with a market going like this, you're like, how does someone do this? He ranked as a Grand Centurion, which is the highest accolade at his previous company. He's labeled the #1 San Diego real estate agent on social media. Wow, that's huge. By Property Spark, and also the National Association of Hispanic Real Estate Professionals, which we call NAREP, also awarded Gabe and his wife with the 50th in the nation. Literally, if you're in the top 50 in the nation, that's just incredible. He's got 10,000 followers on Facebook, 135,000 followers on Instagram, 70,000 subscribers on YouTube. He's got multiple viral videos. I could keep going on and on and on. One of the biggest things that I love and appreciate about him, he's a man of God. He puts God first. He puts family first, faith first, and relationships. And what is he here to teach us? Because I got to shut up and listen to this man. He's here to teach us how you are going to triple your company revenue, triple your team size, because, it takes a team, right, to grow to the next level, how to triple your results by leveraging social media in the right way. A lot of people not using it the right way. Specifically, what to post, what to say, what to write, what to do, what's this, how to demystify this, this magic. So with that, I'd like to give the floor to Mr. Gabe and his incredible wife, Cherish, and just ask you for, just real quick, I know you say you humble beginnings. Tell us a little bit about, this is the Think and Grow Rich Summit. Some adversities you faced and what brought you on the journey from those adversities to Think and Grow Rich, and then eventually to where you are in your life now.
Yeah, absolutely. Kaya, thank you for the opportunity. To the entire Think and Grow Rich Foundation, I just want to say thank you on behalf of myself and my beautiful wife, who's been with me now for the last 8 years throughout this crazy journey of my 10-year real estate career. So it's been a lot of ups and downs. So big thank you to all of you and everyone who's in attendance. Thank you all for tuning in to all the speakers, really just focusing in. I think that one of the biggest propellers in our business is that we've always remained students first. We've learned everything. We've never pretended to know everything. And we're students first, and that's where that's at. But regarding the humility aspect of it, Kai, you and I kind of talked about it offline a bit about the story, and I know you heard me tell it a few times. It was, I think that looking back, when I was younger, I kind of looked at everyone's situation, everyone having a story like, oh, poor me, and I grew up, parents got divorced, etc. My mom's first generation from Mexico. But as I got older, a dysfunctional home seemed to kind of be the norm. And I started to ask more people, and more people had broken homes. Like it was a normal thing. And so that was one thing that I learned growing up that was comforting. But then the journey during that dysfunctionality is very deep and dark. And a lot of people don't talk about like those deep, dark moments. And coming from like a high school where, you're the man, you're hosting all these parties and everyone wants to be around you. And then graduating high school and then feeling like you have nothing left. That was my story. I'm like, who am I at this point? I don't know what I represent. I don't know who I am. I'm not hosting more parties. No one wants to hang around with me. Everyone's going on living their own life. And then around like that 2012 marker, I was going through this pretty dark transition from trying to discover who I was, losing all of this value in high school and popularity and for 4 years and traveling and just hosting these big gatherings to 2 years after high school in 2021, I'm getting in trouble with the law. All my friends have moved on, gone to college. No one's really caring about high school parties anymore. Everyone's really focusing on life, but I'm kind of still stuck in that mindset. And that was tough for me to swallow. And so I went through a deep, dark depression during those years, trying to find myself. I was getting drunk. I was getting arrested. I was doing stupid things, putting my mom through a lot of heartache. And it was a hard time. Finally, someone introduced me. It's like this crazy convergence of like personal development and spiritual development. I wasn't really looking for God at that time, and I wasn't really looking to grow, but someone just threw me a line. And I remember just being at a point where I was just sick and tired of being sick and tired. And someone introduced me to something called multi-level marketing. Shifted my entire life for the better. For all of you guys who think of multi-level marketing as like this big negative scam, there are so many beautiful things that come out from that industry. I honestly do believe it should be like a prerequisite to life. I think that every student in high school should at least get enrolled into one MLM, host a couple of these house parties, invite their friends, and just get used to presenting and rejection. It was a huge savior for me. And as I was going through that personal development phase, one of my leaders told me about Think and Grow Rich. And let me tell you something. When your back's against the wall, you're broke, you have no money, no one wants to talk to you, you're out of shape, you don't have a beautiful lady by your side, and you have no money to do anything, like you're willing to listen to anything, even something as silly at that time as Think and Grow Rich, which was you have like these different principles and how you should think, how you should act, and how you manifest all these things into real life. But I had nothing to lose. And when he introduced me to that, that's where that whole mindset shifted. And that's where the spiritual development started to happen at the same exact time. And I want to take you guys to like just a quick moment, like where I was going through this deep, dark depression. My mom's first generation from Mexico. Her and her family crossed over here. There's 8 of them living in a 1 to 2 bedroom house. Grandmother's working 3 jobs. None of them graduated high school. My mom finally buys a home for us in 2007, 2008. We ended up losing that property 2 years later due to predatory lending. And so I know what it was like to lose the home, get embarrassed in front of all my high school friends, sleep on a couch in a garage in my uncle's house, and going through my teenage years, like suffering like this, seeing all my friends drive cars and traveling. And here I am, can't have a gathering because I have no place to invite anyone to. And then I start dragging my mom through the mud because I'm going through all this pain on the inside, trying to find myself. And she sticks by my side the entire time. And then finally, I have my back against the wall. God's kind of creeping into my life. Someone introduced me to multi-level marketing. I start this journey of personal and spiritual development. And then finally, there's like this light at the end of the tunnel. And I just told myself, I was sitting in my room one day and I go and I pull out a bunch of credit cards over like the previous months. I started spending money on clothes, televisions, PlayStations. I'm buying bottle service at clubs, anything that I can get to fill this void on the inside of me. I was trying to fill this void by spending so much money. I think I racked up like $45,000 in credit card debt in 90 days. I hired a personal trainer. I bought suits. I went and got a BMW. I went and bought a 55-inch plasma TV. I got a PlayStation. All these things trying to empty it. And I remember one night I was at this club and I had bottle service and I thought I was the man. I had like 6, 7 women around me at this time. This is BC, so before Cherish. Yeah, this is BC, so before Cherish.
Before Cherish, I love that.
And
so what's AD? Yeah, that's the next question.
We'll figure that one later. Yeah. But I'm sitting in this club, man, and I'm going like in my head, I know I'm on the destructive behavior that I was doing. But then I go home that night and I remember thinking like, I owe all this money. I spent all this stupid money that night for no reason. And I was just feeling dark and empty inside. And then the next 2 or 3 weeks, I didn't wake up till 2, 3 in the afternoon. The next 2 or 3 weeks, I purposely would wake up late, not go out. I bought blackout drapes for my room. I didn't leave the house. And I was lying to everyone around me, telling everyone I was okay, but I was suffering on the inside. And I didn't know how to ask for help. I didn't know how to tell people what was going on. I felt embarrassed. I felt ashamed. And I remember just one time being deep and dark alone, and I wanted to commit suicide. I just wanted to end all of it to end. But my love for my mom didn't let me do it. That was the thing. I remember being so deep and dark in that moment that I thought to myself, if I do this now, after everything she sacrificed over the entirety of my life, her sacrifice on raising my sister and I, working 3 jobs, losing a home, going through the humility of all that, I would leave her on this planet by herself with no one to fight for her, no one to have her back. Like, I'm the man of the house. And I remember having that guilt, saying that I can't leave her alone. So I didn't do it. And that's where the journey of like letting go of the past and having to create a bigger vision for myself started. And that personal development kicked in at the right time. Think and Grow Rich kicked in at the right time.
I'm wiping
Everything.
away the tears here. Oh,
Yeah,
gosh.
man. I couldn't leave my mom.
Wow.
She had done everything for me up to this point.
Wow.
Kaya, when I tell you this woman is beautiful on the inside, she got married, was cheated on, lost our home, never remarried, dedicated her entire life to my sister and I, worked 2-3 jobs, couldn't raise us because she wanted to provide for us. We lived in a 1-bedroom apartment most of my teenage years in a good neighborhood because she would rather do that than go into a bad neighborhood and we have our own bedroom. She did everything, never dated, didn't go out and club, didn't bring men home. She literally sacrificed her life for our life. And I thought to myself, I can't leave my mom here after she did all that. Then if that were the case, she should have just left and found another man. She should have just went and traveled the world and left us behind. But her sacrifice would be in vain. And I didn't want to do that to her. Because I loved her too much.
Gabe,
Yeah.
I know that everybody's watching this and hearing this is so in their heart. And we've all gone through these types of things, and you have a massive, massive why. Anybody watching this knows exactly why you are where you are today and why we all get to be where we deserve to be today. If you don't mind, because I know we're going to share some tools today as well. If you don't mind, just what were the 3, I know you talked about Think and Grow Rich, and you talked about faith, you talked about desire, the mastermind, and the decision. What were those moments in Think and Grow Rich that helped you shift your mindset? And I know you also talked about multi-level marketing. And I heard someone say, by the way, life is enrollment. Life is enrollment. We're enrolling people into a vision. And that's really the multi-level marketing is a machine of enrollment. But touching on Think and Grow Rich, the faith, the desire, the mastermind, the decision, how do those play a huge role in your breakthrough?
I had to make a decision at that point, like what I wanted to do. And I didn't have any roadmap to life, and not until multi-level marketing. So it gave me like a blueprint on how, good framework of how to think, how to be. Then I read the book on Think and Grow Rich, auto-suggestion, and all these new ideas and principles of life started to come about. And I quickly learned that human behavior, we're motivated by 2 factors. We're either motivated by the pain of something, all of us are running away from something, or the pleasure, we're all running towards something. And I had to make a decision right there that I was going to change. And that's when I learned it couldn't be about what I wanted anymore. It had to be about who I wanted to become. And that's where my first vision board came. That's where my first goal setting gear came.
Can you repeat that? That's a big thing. Y'all can hear this interview and it's incredible. And it's just, things are just going to go over your head. That thing again, not focusing on what you wanted, not what I want, but focus on, how do you finish that?
I couldn't focus on what I wanted. I had to focus on who I needed to become.
Who I need to become instead of what I want.
Yes.
Wow.
Because who I was going to become changed my value system, how I made my decisions, how I lived, the decisions that I made. And I had to use either a pain point to motivate me, or I had to create a vision that was so great I got excited about. And I decided to choose a vision that was so great I got excited about it. And I told myself that, look, man, in high school you were the man. There was a song by 50 Cent, and in the verse it says, damn, homie, in high school you was the man, homie. What the heck happened to you? And I remember listening to that verse, I was like, it hit me in the gut, and I was like, oh, that hurts so bad to listen to that, man. Like, no, I'm not going to be that guy. I'm going to be even better than before. So I had to recreate a new version of myself. So I said, the statement that I wrote down on my first vision board was to be the most desired man in the world. I needed to be in shape. I needed to dress well. I needed to speak well. I needed to embody everything. A man who gives, a man who loves, a man who cares, a man who's patient, a man who's disciplined in all these areas. So the principle number 1, which was from Think and Grow Rich, was decision. And I had to make that decision in that moment, who I wanted to become. I wrote that vision down. It became very clear for myself. And then the other factors started to come in from there too, the other principles.
Yeah, the desire, the mastermind. I know we're going to get into your how to triple your company revenue, right? With your team size and your results by leveraging social media, what to say, how to say it, and when and what and all that. Just before we jump into that, I just want the audience to meet your incredible wife, Cherish.
Yeah.
You both are such a power couple. You know, what do you see in, I'm just going to open it up, Cherish, to anything you feel like you want to share based on what you've heard in the conversation so far. Anything that you want to share on maybe Think and Grow Rich for you, your life, positive thinking, your life with this incredible man as a couple, as a married couple.
Yeah, so first of all, I know that Gabe covered it in the beginning, but it is an honor to be here with you and with everyone who's watching. And I am so motivated by this man. Like he said, we met 8 years ago in a parking lot. If you guys want to know the full story, you have to go and find us on social. We'll have it below. But I have like a little cheat code, and my cheat code to life, the way that I have been able to, be beside him and help support him, is because of everything he's done. He's like my secret weapon. He'll go and he'll learn everything, and then he'll teach me everything, and he'll tell me
I love it.
all the books that he's read. He'll tell me all the seminars he's attended, all of the NLP trainings he's attended, and then I get to soak that in. So I think my biggest blessing in life is being his wife, because I am just so proud of everything he's done.
One of the interviews we just did, I know, Gabe, you wanted to chime in. One of the interviews we just did was Dr. Khalila Ali, right? The former wife of Muhammad Ali. And she shared how going through such difficult times, in an era where the world was very different, where he was banned from boxing because he refused to go in the draft and fight against Vietnam. And they went into complete poverty, and she had to do all kinds of things just to put food on the table when he wasn't even allowed to fight. So it's not even just behind every great man is a great woman. Actually, behind every great man is an even greater woman. I truly believe that one of the principles that Think and Grow Rich talks about is your partner. And you can only go as high and as far as the partner you have at home, the person who you spend most of your time with, is either going to support your vision and build you up so high, or they're just going to not believe in you and tear you down. So there's something magical in you and the union here. And I know that we've got so many things to be excited to see from you. If you don't mind, just because we only have like 2 or 3 minutes, let's get into this strategy. You are experts, right? You've got 170,000 plus followers on Instagram. You've got viral videos. You've got enormous Facebook thing, YouTube page. You are the top 1% in social media in all of real estate. So how can people, what are the simple steps that people can triple their revenue, triple their team size and the results by leveraging social media the right way?
So a couple of things. I'm going to answer that question right now, Kaya, but I do want to touch on 2 things before I do that. Number one, the big one, because this is a Think and Grow Rich Summit. I want to talk about the principles. I'm not going to go into detail. I'm just going to focus on the ones that may have the biggest impact. It was the decision. It was the desire. It was the faith, believing that it was going to happen despite all of the tangible obstacles pointing in the opposite direction. I had to truly believe. And then the last one, not the last one, but the final one, and I would say in that whole recipe is the mastermind. I had the people around me. So I made the decision to do it. I had the desire to do it because I created a compelling future. Then I had that faith that it would happen. I just believed. I had this very, what do you call it? Ignorance on fire. And then I had a mastermind of people around me that just championed me when I needed it the most. So those were mine early in my career that propelled me over that hump. Got me out of suicide, got me into top production, got me paying off my mom's debt, buying her a home, investing into real estate, changing our whole lives, putting our children to private school, finding the most beautiful woman on the entire planet. That's the first thing I wanted to touch on. Another thing we said, Kaya, was behind every great man is even greater woman. In our church, we say aside, next to every great man is even a greater woman. So which is my wife is always by my side. Now to answer the question about the social media stuff, I want to make sure you guys all get something out of it. So listen to this. One thing that I learned during the entire journey was document everything on social media. And yes, there's a right way to do it. And yes, there's a wrong way to do it. And doing it is better than not doing it. So don't be discouraged. But let me give you a quick 3 tips. on how we were able to triple our production, triple our team size. We're now over 130 agents across the entire country. And we now coach and work with some of the best agents in their own marketplaces. Wow. So this is how we did it. The first one we had to determine was what to post. What were the most effective posts out there that caught the most attention, pulled the most heartstrings, and got people to inquire in our inbox. So we were able to create a list in our industry of what the best performing posts were. This is over years of market research. The second thing that we did was we learned what to say on camera. A lot of people tend to start their videos with, hey guys, hi everyone, and 4 or 5 seconds goes by before anything of value is even said. And we know now that we have the shortest attention span in history as a human species. You need to knock that introduction out in 2 or 3 seconds tops. So we were able to create a template on what you should be saying on camera effectively. What's your hook? What is your body? And then a strong call to action. That's what you say on camera. So we found out what the topics were. Then we found out how to create scripts for those topics. And then lastly, probably the most important one, which is once you post it, what do you write on the caption? What does your ad copy actually say? And that is something that took us even longer to discover, that the ad copy is the most important out of the entire equation. You have the idea, you know how to script it on video, but then once you post it, what should you write? And there is where we learned how to story tell. Facts tell, stories sell. If you want people to send you a direct message and get in your inbox, and you want to have better agents or better employees in your company, if you want to increase your sales, get really good at storytelling. And that's what the caption does for you. You can also do that in the video, but the video should be used for something else. And Kyle, I want to offer someone now, as we're coming to a conclusion, I want to offer the entire audience here something. This is something that we offer to our top coaching clients, paying coaching clients. And if you guys are out there and you're thinking you need help with leadership, social media, systems and processes, sales and marketing, it's one of the things that we love the most is sales and marketing. But you guys know it's the 2 things that matter most in any business. I'm going to offer something to you guys for free right now. If you guys go ahead and text the word THINK, THINK, THINK to 619-494-2477. Text the word THINK to 619-494-2477. My team is going to email you a free copy of the what to say on camera template. All you have to do is fill in the blanks. We're going to give you the template. Fill in the blanks, and you're going to have the perfect video script. The second thing we're going to send over to you is the storytelling ad copy template. Fill in the blanks. What do you have to write? And if you get those 2 things right in your industry and you stick with it over a period of 90 days, I promise you it's guaranteed. You will triple your amount of inquiries and leads and everything that you get. And of course, there's fine tuning and things that need to happen like that, which is where coaching comes into play. So just go ahead and send us a direct message on Instagram, send us, call us, text us, whatever that might be. And we're looking forward to working with all of you. And Kyle, like I said, man, it's been such a pleasure.
This is incredible. Wow. You gave you touched all of our souls. You had me crying off camera. I was zooming on you and I'm off camera. Like, where's the tissue? Where's the tissue? So we are doing an incredible collaboration with CEO Mo Rock of the Los Angeles Tribune, and then also with Satish Verma with the Think and Grow Rich Institute. We're going to be doing live events, free events, an event like this. I'm going to be inviting Gabe Mendez. We've shared the stage with him many times. So if you want to know about some free events where you get to also meet Gabe in person and also be part of this community, you can text the word TOP, that's T-O-P. Text the word TOP, T-O-P, to the phone number 26786. Again, text the word TOP, T-O-P, to 26786. And we will be inviting you to a free live event in person or virtual where we're going to have Mr. Gabe Mendez and Cherish on stage with the Think and Grow Rich movement and also with the Los Angeles Tribune. Congratulations. I know you got tremendous amount of value today, and we will see you soon.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Welcome to the Los Angeles Tribune page. Here you will find original news programming, exclusive digital events, and shows that are directly from the community. At the Los Angeles Tribune, we believe in giving a voice to the voiceless. We are proud to be the only national brand to empower everyday people to make a difference. Since 1886, our reputation has been built on truth and responsibility. Thank you for watching and making a difference.
For general inquiries, contact today. Thank you on behalf of the Los Angeles Tribune team.
And we are back, Rex. Another great, powerful interview with Gabe Mendez and Cherish.
Well, you are crushing it, and so are the guests. Wow.
So are the guests. So we are here. If you're tuning in live, just joined, or you've been here the whole entire time, we are here with the Think and Grow Rich Institute. Shout out to Satish Verma for carrying on this legacy. Gabe Mendez is just timed in. He loved exactly our Instagram at Gabe Mendez. Yes. Go to his Instagram. You'll probably see enormous amount of followers there because he's definitely a celebrity on there. He's the number 1% top real estate on social media and the top 1% realtor in San Diego as well. This next gentleman. So yes, Think and Grow Rich and the Los Angeles Tribune CEO, Mo Rock and Ava and everybody and you, Rex, the entire team. Again, we are journeying, going all the way. This next gentleman, he is extra special for many, many reasons. For his results, actually, first and foremost. However, we also call him His Excellence. Yes, His Excellence Baron Alec Stern. Alec Stern, and we can have him join the stage, please. If you can, join the stage. His Excellence Baron Alec Stern is an entrepreneur, speaker, mentor, investor, known as the America's Startup Success Expert. He's the co-founder and part of the founding team member of 8 startups. Most people haven't even thought of even one. 8 startups with 5 exits, 2 IPOs, 3 acquisitions, a primary member of Constant Contact, which very famous, founding team member. It was one of the original 3 people who started that company from the, you hear this, started from the attic, right? And he was with the company for 18 years, from startup to IPO to selling it, right? So acquisition at $1.1 billion. Who would like to build a company and sell it one day for $1.1 billion? He's going to teach you how to do it today. He was also selected as the Influence 100 Authority list by the Influence magazine, was also recognized by the World Authority of Entrepreneurship by the Credible Source in 2021. He was also awarded two-time award recipient of the Excellent Keynote Speaker recipient at top conferences and the 2022 Be Great Exemplary Humanitarian Award recipient. You know, honestly, I've cut out half of the resume because it's so much that just the first paragraph is more than 5 people have achieved in one lifetime. His Excellence Baron Alec Stern, welcome to the stage.
Thank you.
If I could get my head to spin, I would be completely spinning right now. Hi, Alec. How are you?
Good. How are you, Rex? Good to see you.
Good to see you. It's great. Thank you for being here.
It's my pleasure. I got the A team here with Kaya and Rex.
A team. Yes, and there's an even greater A team because Mo's in the background pulling all the strings, and Ava and the whole team. Nice. So what we're going to learn about today is, how do you find a startup idea? This is what he's going to get into. How do you find a startup idea? Once you have the idea, how do you get it started? And starting a business is hard, right? How do you handle those challenges? Because I'm sure he did that over 18 years, setting the company for $1.1 billion. How do you handle rejection? when you're starting, how can you set yourself apart? And then once you get going, how do you scale that business? And what's the mantra you live by? These are the questions he is going to share with us. And I'm sure he's going to share with us also by sharing his story. I know you went through some trials and tribulations on the way, and you're a big, huge fan of Think and Grow Rich. Alec, please do share.
Thank you. I really appreciate the time, and thank everyone for attending. And you gotta be in it to win it, right? You got to show up and participate. So we'll do our part, and you do yours. So the first thing I get asked probably 100 times a day, what do you think of my idea? And so I always say it doesn't matter what I think. What does your target market think? And so getting out and just taking that idea forward is one of the most important things, and you got to do that early and often. A lot of people want to be in, put it in quotes, stealth mode. Like, I don't want to share my idea, afraid someone's going to take it. No one's going to take your idea. You just don't share that secret sauce, or what's that secret ingredient in the recipe. You can get out there and get that feedback, and feedback's a gift, especially in the earlier days. But so people also ask the question, like, I really want to go. I want to be an entrepreneur, but how do I come up with an idea? So these are my stats, but about 85% of the time, it's an existing business, product, or service that's in market, that's asleep at the wheel, or you experience it and you say, wow, that could have been done better. Whether it's adding features or it's adding some additional service offerings, and so you can just take that and bring it forward. And so I'll ask someone, are you an innovator? And most people say no. 5% say they are. But if you take an existing idea and you noodle on it, and you think of ways it could be done better, and you share it with someone, and they're like, wow, that's a great idea, I'd love to work on it with you. Now you're an innovator because you're taking action. So we all are innovators. It's just a question of whether we take action or not. So the other 15% is an idea that didn't exist before. We did that with Constant Contact, Airbnb, Facebook, the list goes on, where there wasn't something, Uber, et cetera. And there wasn't something that existed to do what they're doing. So that's creating not only a new company, a brand, but you're creating a new category. So there's a lot more challenges in doing that, because you got to educate people on this new category. Existing businesses, they've already heard it, experienced it. And if someone's asleep at the wheel and you slip in there with, better features and so forth, then they're going to be familiar. And now they'll see the better way that you're presenting that. So you have that idea, that you've noodled on, you shared it, you got others involved. And that's when you then want to go to your target market, and get their feedback.
That is beautiful. So these questions that are, we're biting at the bit. How do you start it? How do you find a startup idea? And you can jump in at any point. How do you get started on that idea? How specifically, when business is hard, how do you handle those challenges? How do you handle the rejection? How do you set yourself apart? Any one of those that you want to dive into with greater depth, because we're living in an economy right now where a lot of fear, a lot of uncertainty, a lot of people are going through those tough times, and the idea of a startup, being an entrepreneur, very risky in and of itself. And then you got the economy that we're in. So how have you faced those challenges? What were the challenges that you faced personally before you got this breakthrough, this turning point? What were your turning points?
Yeah, so I think the first one I'll touch on is that, so you have this idea, and now you identify your target market and get real granular with who your target market is. I'll often ask people, who's your target market? And they're like, small business. Well, you can define small business in so many different ways, revenue, number of employees, number of customers, it's sometimes geography, and it can vary in size. And are you the very small business, or are you medium business, or are you really large business? That's just lumped together in sort of that category of small business. And so once you know what that specific target market is, you go out and you speak to them. And it's really important when you take your idea forward that you ask them a lot of leading questions initially. What do you have that you wish you had more of? What don't you have that you wish was in the mix? You know, are you looking to increase revenue, decrease expense? Like, you know, what's your 3-year vision? You know, you get whoever you're speaking to as your target market to give you a lot of information. And then as you play back, you know, to them, kind of lead the witness a bit, you give them a little bit of information about what you're doing, and then they'll ask for more. You know, you don't want to do the spray and pray and just keep talking in the hope they heard something that interested them. And so when they're talking to you, you have to be present and listening. And so if you take the word listen and you move the letters around, it's called silent. So you need to be silent and present, listening to what they're saying, so you can play back, you know, the best sort of position on what you're working on, instead of some scripted thing that you tell everyone. You really want to be sort of tied in there. And so now you're presenting that idea, and you're getting getting good feedback. If your target market can answer 2 questions, one, is this something you see value in? And they say, of course, yeah, this would be great. It's something I really see us using. And 2, are you willing to pay for it? And they say it's priceless. Then you know you're onto something. And so now you're gonna hit a lot of walls, right? You're gonna present this to potential investors. You're gonna present it to potential mentors, strategic partners, and so on. And you're gonna get a lot of resistance. You know, where they're gonna say, an investor may say no. Like no one sells to small business unless you're a big company like Intuit or ADP or what have you. These are the obstacles and things that we heard initially with several companies that have started. You know, like Constant Contact also being a software as a service for small business. I had a few others prior to that. And so the key thing here is that if you get your target market telling you answering those 2 questions, you know you're onto something. And then you just have to know, you have to say that a no means not now. That's one of my mantras. A no means not now. And so don't hear the no as rejection. Hear it as an opportunity. Maybe it's what I said, when I said it, and how I said it. Usually the case, versus they're not hearing something that they're interested in. So that's where you set up the conversation to say, is this a good time? You know, so you get them present and listening to what you're presenting to them. And if they say no, then you want to ask, you know, can I stay in touch with you? You know, first, why did you say no? Can I stay in touch with you and cultivate that relationship? And you will convert many of those no's to yeses later. So oftentimes, you know, no means not now. It's not a rejection. Don't go, you know, taking your bat and ball and going home when you hear no's. Because if I had $1 for every no that I got, I could have retired.
Right.
So accept those. And then, of course, as you start the business, you're going to run into obstacles. And so obstacles are a challenge. And again, they become a stuck point, right? So you get an obstacle and you freeze. And if you were like me, the way I used to handle it, you write the obstacle on a piece of paper, put a little box next to it, and you hope you check it at the end of the day, and you don't. And it's there the next day. It just seems to get bigger and bigger in print, you know, as you see it there for several days, and it weighs on you more and more. And eventually that's often a reason why someone packs up and, you know, doesn't want to do this anymore. But you have to understand that with obstacles, you're not the first person to experience it. So you want to seek counsel. You want to go to those that hit the obstacle and knocked it down, and those that hit the obstacle, you know, and failed at maybe the challenge of knocking it down. And you're going to learn from those. So seek that counsel. The other thing is to break it into smaller pieces and start to chip away at it. So you have some wins at it. So you're feeling more confident and feeling good about it. And you create a muscle memory for knocking down obstacles, which is critical, because when you knock one down, the one behind it is bigger. And then you knock that one down, the one behind that is bigger. And as you advance, these things get bigger and they weigh more, and it shows up in larger print on your paper when you write them down. And so you've got to figure out the muscle memory to sort of work through those challenges and knock those down.
This is incredible. I know I have other questions, and if we could just jump in just from this to a little bit on Think and Grow Rich, because you talked about seeking counsel. You talked about a lot of principles that sort of dovetail from that mindset of Think and Grow Rich: the persistence, the never giving up, getting the lessons, the power of the mastermind. Not necessarily asking the clients what they want, but that's your thing. It's like figuring out what they want and how you can best serve them. how are what are the top 3 principles in Think and Grow Rich for you that you feel changed your life?
Yeah, so I've always been one of visualization, and so I think when you think about imagination, you know, I will set an intention, and I go and visualize the outcome. So, for example, if I'm going to be going in to present to somebody about investing in the company, I visualize getting the big golf check, you know, from the investor, like, you know, handing it to me and shaking our hand, and you know, we're walking away with some money from them. And so I go all the way to visualizing that, because I think you have to have the mindset, and you have to have that energy, get that energy in you to go forward with seeing the outcome that, you know, and setting the intention of the outcome you're looking for. And I do that in everything in life. And so I'd say imagination is one of the big ones for me. Permeates all through my life, personally and also professionally, to really go and see that outcome. If there's a mentor, someone that I would kill to have, you know, on the team to either mentor me personally or the company, you know, every time I found that person that everyone said was untouchable, they're behind the velvet rope, you'll never get there, you know, they're VIP, you know, I always found a way to get to them and visualize, you know, shaking hands and agreeing to work together. So it's just so important to do that. So that's the first one. I think the organized planning would be my second one. You know, if I go sort of in order, you know, of the book, but so read it a few times, but the organized planning, because, you know, this is all about, you can stay in a vacuum and keep planning, or you can get out of that and take action. So it's fine to plan, but you've got to, it's good enough, right? You plan enough, and then you got to take action, because action is going to give you the guidance to move forward and get feedback, and then make the adjustments you need. I have a great example of someone that I've mentored who said, you know, I'd really love your help. You know, we're just getting going. And they are still planning 7 years later, you know, and they can't get out of their own way in taking action. And they would have been the first Redfin. It's in the real estate space. They would have been the first Zillow, the first Redfin, the first all of them, because their idea, you know, was taken by others, but they really just kind of want to keep planning and not getting out. The sooner you can get out there, even if something's not complete, to get feedback, you'll iterate based on that feedback from, you know, in the example of, you know, your target market, and then you'll iterate on that. You bring it to someone else, and it's going to get better and better and better. And oftentimes we say, well, you know, I used to be my target market, so I know. No matter when you were the target market, that doesn't matter, because it's what they say today, this minute, this afternoon, not 2 years ago or 5 years ago, whatever it may be, because it's critical to stay in action, you know, and as often as possible. And then the last one, of course, is persistence, you know, with a no meaning not now, and really, you know, taking the opportunity to you know, keep advancing and work those relationships, be persistent to work the relationship, and convert those no's into yeses later. So those three I just weave those into my daily life. Yeah.
I've heard you speak, Baron Alec, so many times, and yet today it's like a whole new thing. You are not only, you have so much energy, you have so much knowledge, and you have a proven track record where I can't write notes fast enough. So type in the comments, what are you learning that you can apply in your business to take your business to the next level? And as you're typing it, those comments or those breakthroughs in the chat, I'd like to ask you a couple more questions.
Sure.
Baron Alec, so how do you set yourself apart?
Yeah. So one of my other mantras, these are sort of my own personal quotes, I guess, but look big, act big, become big. And so when you think about, like, even in the earliest days, we always make excuses. Well, we're a startup. We're only a couple of people.
Right.
You know, in the earliest days, one of the first things, once you figure out kind of some of your branding, a logo and a tagline, you know, we'll get shirts that are branded, you know, we'll get the pens and the notepads. And I remember we were at a trade show. There's 4 of us. We were only 4 in the company when we started. 3 in an attic, we added in a 4th. So we're at a trade show, and we couldn't afford the trade show, but we walked the exhibit hall. And we're all in shirts, you know, it's like the army of Constant Contact with the shirts. And that particular week we had brought on 4 interns, you know, and so we doubled to 8. So we're walking in, someone approached us and said, wow, yeah, Constant Contact, you guys are big, huh? I'm like, yeah, we doubled in size this week. You know, they didn't know that the other 4 were interns. So perception, right? And so, if you act big, if you act big, you know, so you're looking big and then you act big. One of the other things is that we're just so used to quick conversations and quick emails and quick texts. You know, just create a 5-slide deck: who we are, what we do, what makes us unique, what our customers are saying, and then how we might work together.
Okay. Please type in the chat. Question number 1, who we are. Number 2,
what we do.
What we do.
What makes us unique.
What makes us unique. Our unique selling proposition. Number 3.
Right.
That's 3. That's 4.
3, yeah. Right. And then what our customers are saying. So if you have a reference, just even one reference, right?
What our customers are saying.
And then the fifth one is you know, how we could work together. So if it's a partner or it's a possible customer, how can we work together?
I love this so much.
So you brand that, right? You put your logo and your colors and you brand that. And then you get on a call with them and you set up a StreamYard or a Zoom and say, listen, I just got a few slides to frame the conversation. Would you mind if I kick off our call with that? And then you own the conversation. They don't know it's the first time you're doing it. They don't know there's 3 of you in an attic. They don't know, you know, that you only have a couple of customers. And so you present that and you professionalize yourself. So you're looking big, you're acting big, and of course, then you'll ultimately become big. And then a few other quick things: change your email address. If your email address ends in, you know, Gmail, Yahoo, Hotmail, AOL, I just saw one of those today. You know, just pay $5 a month and get your branded email, because it professionalizes yourself. So, you know, you're looking big. So you do the little things. And then, of course, one of the first things I always do is get cards and write handwritten notes on a branded card and mail it to the person that I've just met with. You know, when's the last time you got a handwritten note from someone, right? So you set yourself apart, and you're looking big, acting big, and you'll become big.
These are powerful, wise, simple, practical steps. That's what I love about this interview, is that you're really giving simple, practical, I can do this right now steps, action steps. Rex, I know that you are a big fan of Baron Alex Stern as well. Any questions you want to ask? And then we're also going to learn how to get connected with Alec online, and how to maybe take your business to the next level with his expertise and his knowledge.
Wow. Well, thank you. And, you know, I'm just sitting here trying to keep my teacup empty so that he can pour into it. You know, I feel like I'm sitting at the feet of the guru of you know, ancient times. I mean, learning. This is really powerful, and it's really wonderful. And I so appreciate you, Alex, and you know that, Alec. And the I want to make a comment and then have you comment on it. And if you don't mind. You know, when I was listening to you speak just moments ago, and Kaya was asking these amazing questions, my mind went to, you know, Barnes. It went to the little girl whose mama needed 50 cents. It went to Gunsalas, the minister who said, if I had $1 million, you know, in a week, what would I do? It went to, you know, so many different things. And then it goes to 3 feet from gold. And the difference between you can go with Schwab, you can go with all the different stories. But you get 3 feet from gold. It's interesting. There's the Wright brothers. They all seem to ignore circumstances. They all seem to say the inner is more important than the outer. And even though they had opposition from family and from experts and everything else, or a little girl was threatened to be beaten and things like that, when it came to 3 feet from gold, they cashed out. They said, hey, there's no gold here. They let circumstances dictate what was going on. They gave up. They stopped going. And fortunately, you know, the landowner said, well, let me get a geologist in here and find out what's going on. They find out it's Jesus. 3 feet, you know, further, they would have hit the richest vein of the mine. And so I listened to you speak, and I I think about so many people who go, yeah, well, that's easier said than done. And with that kind of attitude, so many people stop before they even start. And what you're talking about is not rocket science. It's very simple, but because it's so simple, it's extremely powerful, and so many people will miss it. And yet you have a way of sharing it so that it just gets right to the point and goes, look, I can do this. Like, look big, act big, or, become big. I mean, it's a very beautiful approach. And I hope that none of anything that you say is lost in anyone, because they need to go back and listen to it again and again. When you say you visualize, a lot of people go, I don't know how to visualize that. What do you mean? And you say, I see the end result. Do you go all the way from the beginning to the end? I mean, that would take like hours, or are you just seeing that end result and letting that drive the whole thing? Because a lot of people don't know what to do when it comes to visualizing, especially if they haven't used it consciously or deliberately with intention.
Yeah, so I appreciate the kind words and for both of you, and also the great question. So I don't spend hours on it, but I take it from beginning to end, because you can't just jump in and say, I want to visualize getting this investor today to give me money. Then you haven't set yourself up for success, because you haven't taken it from the beginning and say, okay, what do I know about them? What are the things that they invest in? Is there a perfect fit here? Between, what's the tact I want to take with what I'm presenting that I know will resonate with them based on the things that they're involved with and their background or the boards they're on and so on. And then, so it's looking for smart money because you found that fit. And then, taking it all the way through, that I'm going to, I visualize presenting to them. I visualize, anytime you're going to be in front of an investor, your answer always has to be, I have a slide for that. So you have an appendix full of all kinds of slides and say, well, we can get to that in a moment. If you don't mind, I have a slide for that. And then, you just got to be so prepared. And then, so it's like, it doesn't look at like it's your first time at the rodeo. And then you're going to go and present, and you're going to, win them over, and then, ask for those next steps, and truly visualizing that outcome of getting, them to invest. Now, that may not happen on that first meeting, and it may not happen just because you thought that's what you want. You have to set the intentions and visualize it all the way through, and make sure, like, I've stopped myself and wait a minute, I'm not going to present that, because based on their background and based on what we're saying, I've got to mix up, what I'm going to say and change some slides. So I think you got to really kind of take yourself through that, and then it will get you down to when you're visualizing, the true outcome you're looking for.
So this is beautiful, because what you just described goes back to what you said for your first your main three chapters when Kai asked you that question. Imagination and planning and how you create it. And so and the reason why I brought up the story of 3 Feet from Gold versus the other people is, what do you do when it comes to people opposing you, or not working out, or people's circumstances didn't go the way you'd hoped they might go? Please share.
Yeah, so some of my other sort of quotes of a no means not now, and then handle the way I handle those obstacles. But I think the key thing in the 3 Feet from Gold tie-in is that I always think of it like I'm on a lane of a highway, and then what's on the adjacent lanes on either side of me. And oftentimes we dive into something that's on another highway in another state. Like, you got to stick to things that are just so close to what you're doing, and you constantly have to test and invest. Like, oh, we just baked the website, we're done. No, when the minute your website goes live, you're just getting going, and you've got to keep getting feedback, and feedback's a gift, and you've got to constantly challenge, and be challenged to make those adjustments and really understand. There were so many points in time in some of the different companies where we thought we had our messaging down, and then we were so close. And when we moved into another lane next to it, and we tweaked and we got feedback and we saw better results, we found that it was literally, that was the path we needed to be on. And if we were put the blinders on to just stay in our lane of that highway, we would have missed that bigger opportunity. just like in 3 Feet for Gold. So I think it's really important to just constantly challenge yourself, but do it in a way that you're getting it from your target market, or you're getting it from other, experts or mentors and others, to just constantly, be open to feedback. There's so many people I meet who, like, they know they have all the answers. I am my target market. I know, and at the end of the day, they're working in a vacuum, and you're not going to succeed at the end of the day if you're not out, constantly testing and investing.
Constantly, constant contact, constantly. Incredible.
Can I ask one more thing?
Yes, please do. Yes.
I maintain that the Wright brothers didn't know how to fly until after they flew. Once, what they were doing all along was experimenting, adjusting, getting the feedback, based on that, and ignoring the naysayers and everything, all the failure that they had along the way. But once they flew, they could innovate and improve on it. Now had the 3 Feet from Gold team done what you were saying versus what some of the others in the Napoleon Hill book, point out, or what you're saying, is they would have bothered to look a little deeper, or stayed in that track instead of saying, let's throw in the towel and find something else. I mean, he became very rich in, insurance, but because he said, I'll never let someone say no to me again. But what you're saying is so relevant and so pertinent to all of us who would like to be able to accomplish even a fraction of what you've accomplished.
Wow. No, it's so true. And I do want to make just a general statement, 2 statements. One, I always live by the African proverb: if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go by others.
So let me.
I mean, I live by that, and I also, given that, I just this isn't an I story; it's a we story. I stay in my lane in terms of what I'm good at, and wrap myself around with others. I'm not a solopreneur. I have the utmost respect for anyone that does it on their own. I bring others in with me, and so the 1 and 1 equals 3, and it's always a team effort. It's not, it's not. This isn't a me story. It's really a we story.
Beautiful. Kaya, please. Thank you.
So Baron Alec, how do people find you? And then also, what are some things that they could start on in learning with you? Like, where do they start?
Sure. Yeah. So I think the best my website is alecspeaks.com, ALEC speaks.com. Instagram is also Alec Speaks. But if you go to my website, all my social channels are there, so you don't have to try to find me if you want to connect on social media. But you can go there, and there's an opportunity to fill out a contact form if you wanted to reach out to talk about finding breakthrough opportunities in your business or mentoring. And I do have a worksheet that ties into some of what I talked about, and there's some more that's with it that's a freebie that I'm giving away. That's the pillars to achieving startups or small business success. And it's just the things that I talked about, but some other things to think about that are really kind of the things that I think about when it's like starting a business. As early in the cycle, you need to understand your scale, how you're going to scale it. And it's so important to know your scale strategy. And then oftentimes that's partnerships, that's strategic alliances, it's other folks. Like, where is your target market hanging out, and partnering with the people that have their mind share, or that they're coming to them to learn, or whatever it may be. And that's where the scale opportunity lies. And so some of that's in that worksheet.
And so that worksheet they can download for free at Alec speaks.com.
Yeah, so I provided it to you guys. So I don't know if you're putting these things up somewhere, but if not, they can ask for it on the website.
I'm sure that's
perfect. Sure, awesome. And since we just have a little extra time here, I'm curious, what is your next big startup? What is the next project you're super excited about? When you talk about you envision something, what's the new vision you have in the future?
So I've been fortunate I'm on the founding team of a couple of exciting software companies, and I'm also there are a lot of things that I've been innovating on, and I have an innovation think tank that I'm part of, where we are creating a physical product. So we're creating a breakthrough a medical device that would hopefully eradicate the need for a stent. So we're going big with that one, and we're feasibility studies and stuff is looking really good there. And so there's just there are a lot of things that I'm either passionate about or areas that I'm interested in. And again, with putting a great team together. So I've got a couple of software companies that are going to launch in the next about 30, 45 days that we've been working on for a couple of years. Yeah. So.
Beautiful. Well, thank you. Yes.
I just want to say, the idea, I mean, the stent has saved so many lives. The idea that you can do that without the stent is just even that much more amazing. Truly.
So stents have been amazing, but there are a lot of people that are what they call stented out, right? So they're complete, all the arteries are completely stented, and there's no alternative. Now it's just it's just a matter of time, before someone will pass. But imagine if, we're looking at things like, can we clean stents? Because they're stationary and plaque attaches to them. And a lot of times, new lease on life, you don't change your eating habits. And right. So plaque's building on and it can adhere to something that's stationary. And so could we clean them? And then another option would be if we could just clean the vessel walls without hurting them in any way and extrude and remove the plaque, then there would be no need for them. So we're working through it. Something pretty exciting.
Well, I love this because it ties right back into everything that you were saying about imagination and innovation and finding an idea and then going with it. And the idea, that can we clean the arteries? And, I mean, it's just, you walk your talk, sir, Baron.
Yeah.
I'm surrounded by a sir and a Baron. How lucky do I get to be? This is
You're next.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, thank you so much for your generosity and time. And we are ready to go to our commercial break. Please, for those of you, go to Alec, ALEC, speaks.com. He is an incredible speaker, as you know. Book him on your stage, get that worksheet, and let's see you take your startup and sell that for $1.1 billion as a result of his coaching. I love you guys, and we'll see you right after the commercial.
Welcome to the Los Angeles Tribune page. Here you will find original news programming, exclusive digital events, and shows that are directly from the community. At the Los Angeles Tribune, we believe in giving a voice to the voiceless. We are proud to be the only national brand to empower everyday people to make a difference. Since 1886, our reputation has been built on truth and responsibility. Thank you for watching and making a difference.
For general inquiries, contact today. Thank you on behalf of the Los Angeles Tribune team.
Well,
All right. We are teeing up another incredible interview momentarily with Angel and Patty Hernandez. They have sold $130 million every single year in sales, earning, that's what is it, 250 houses a year, and earning $2.5 million a year in actual commissions. And he actually is going to teach you some powerful tools on how you can take your money, invest it, take that money in real estate, invest it, get a return, and then from there, flip it again and get another return, and then flip it again and get another return, and then just flip it and buy and hold. So he's teaching people how to really leverage real estate to make enormous amount of money. And he has a testament for the success of Think and Grow Rich. He's going to be talking about how that improved his life and changed his life. And then next, we're going to go to Dr. Khalila Ali. I know you've been waiting, and I know you're also waiting for Mark Victor Hansen. You're waiting for the best, for the best, for the greatest. And as we tee up for the greatest, we will hear from Angel and Patty Hernandez, because they have something also to change your life. We make money, but how are you going to take that and invest it so that you can really build wealth? And as we're waiting, type in the comments. Type in the comments. I know that you had breakthroughs with Baron Alex Stern. I felt like I needed to pause him and write a bunch of notes. You know, it's amazing when you start something in your attic and the next thing you know, you're selling that thing for $1.1 billion. Absolutely incredible. So this is Angel Patty Hernandez, his wife. Enjoy. And for some reason, we don't have the audio. So let us work on that. We see and we don't hear. We're going to work on that, and hopefully we'll get that taken care of. This has been an incredible journey. 150 speakers in what? 3 days, 4 days. And I know that was the intention for 3 days. It's now the 4th day. And then I said to Mo, CEO of the Los Angeles Tribune, and the incredible leader, Satish Verma, having a conversation with Mo, that Tony Robbins has a 5-day challenge. It's 5 days. We're at 4 days. We don't need to add a 5th day, but I will say this, that that this is an exciting time. And so if there's a challenge with that, maybe we can tee up we're going to ask our LA Tribune team, maybe we can tee up Dr. Khalilah Ali. If we're having a challenge with Angel and Patty Hernandez, maybe we can tee up another one. So please type in the comments. By the way, I've been seeing these 5s, and I'm not sure what 5 means. What does 5 mean? There's a lot of 5s in the chat.
It means 5 out of 5.
Oh, 5 out of 5. I'm used to 10. 10 out of 10, but we can go with 5 out of 5. So Rex, tell us a little bit about, so rexsykes.com/the book. Your book is called Life on
Your Terms.
On Your Terms. Wow.
Create the life you want. Yeah.
So we'll get a message from the team as soon as they're ready with Dr. Khalilah Ali. But tell us a little bit about this book.
Well, it's kind of you. I actually came up to ask about you.
Oh, hey, ask about me. You know, I'll start with you. Tell us about your book. Yes, tell us about your book.
Well, I'm very proud of the book. I think everybody should get it. It is really about how you get from where you are to where you want to go by renewing yourself through transforming yourself through the renewing of your mind. And it's done in such a way that it's about having fun and delighting and finding the simple ways that get you the most bang for your efforts. Because a lot of people, say you got to work really hard, you got to sacrifice, you got to give up, you got to do all these things, and you can do that. I mean, it certainly is an option. But as children, we learn more through play and through curiosity and fascination and adventure than we do at any other time in our life, because we're open, we're available, and we're willing to just go for it, and until we get trained or conditioned out of it. And so it's really a way to go back and kind of recapture your childhood and begin to embody those things that we do naturally. I mean, in other words, you want to learn naturally, you don't need to learn artificially. So I was just trying to see what Mo was saying here. But
so we are, yep. So continue. So please be patient with us. We are working on Dr. Khalilah Ali. We're moments away. Rex, please continue to share some tools. with everybody as we tee up Dr. Kalila. I'm just working on that, and I'll be back just in a jiffy.
Okay. Well, you know, I like to speak my mind, and I like to speak direct, and my background is in neuroscience and the placebo and attitude and mindset and what we can do physically, as well as, you know, meditation and a bunch of different stuff. But I think it's really important for people to understand that there are some popular concepts that we have used in historically that are not really good concepts. I mean, the notion of self-sabotage, for example, there's no such thing as self-sabotage. If you understand how the brain works, the brain only moves essentially in one direction, although it can go all over the place. It moves to serve you, to help you to thrive, and to help you to keep alive. And in doing that, it looks for dangers, and it looks for things that could harm you or hurt you, but it's not out to sabotage you. It's out to get you to stay consistent. And it does it through a couple of principles: the law of least effort, so that once you learn something, you don't have to keep learning it. And the law of conservation of energy, so that you're not expending all of your energy trying to survive, but so that you are actually thriving. And what happens is that we with psychology and religion and philosophy and sociology, we come up with answers as to why things might be going on, that they give an explanation, but they may not be the best explanation or serve us the very best. So instead of saying I sabotage myself, that's like saying, you know, I just keep punching myself in the face. Most people, you know, are really trying to get ahead, and they can't figure out why. Well, why they can't get ahead is because the brain, in its desire, it's not a desire like the way you and I desire stuff, but in it is really just processes. You know, it's neurochemical, electrical processes. So what it does is it's the wiring of the brain, and it keeps us consistent. So it keeps us doing what we've always done, regardless of what else we might want to do. So if you learn to bite your nails, if you learn to smoke, that's a learning that you have. Now you decide that you want to stop it. You go, I want to do this more. Well, you have this whole history of smoking or biting your nails, of habits that you do. And now you go with your little conscious mind and say, I want to change this. And the subconscious mind runs the show. And that's the beauty of it. I mean, while we don't like biting the nails or smoking, it's so powerful that when it's pointed at what you do want, the good things that you want to be able to do and accomplish, and who you want to be and what you want to do and what you want to have, that's what carries that out. That very same mechanism that you're sitting there going, well, it's sabotaging me, is the very one that serves you. So what you want to do is learn how to program it, learn how to condition it, learn how to change those habits so that they're no longer doing the ones that you used to do. So, for example, if you've ever moved or you've ever changed locations, like you move from one house to another, or one apartment to another, or one office place to another, sometimes, and for a while, you may find yourself driving the old route back to the old house or the apartment or the office or whatever it was. You don't forget where it is. The brain doesn't eliminate it, doesn't destroy it. What it does is it overwrites it by going to the new address over and over and over again consistently. So you can always remember how to get to the old address. You just suddenly begin to find yourself going to the new address more and more often. And so it is when learning anything. It's like learning to juggle. You know, if you understand that dropping the balls is part of juggling, you don't go, I'm trying to juggle, but the balls are sabotaging me, or the gravity is sabotaging me. You just like, I can't juggle, you know. But the point is that the more you juggle, the more you have fun juggling, the more that you love juggling, the easier it becomes. And the easier it becomes, the better you get at it. And the better you get at it, the easier it becomes. And so it has this kind of cybernetic loop happening. The more you do, the more you can do. Excuse me. And the more you can do, the quicker and faster it all begins to get together. And guess what? Master jugglers who've juggled all their lives still drop balls, but it doesn't bother them. They aren't saying gravity is screwing me up, and you know, they're just going, okay, I dropped a ball, because they know, after having done it consistently, that they are jugglers and that they're good jugglers. So you can do the very same thing with any change that you want to make, whether it's stopping smoking or stopping biting your nails or having more confidence or making more money. You need to learn how to condition yourself for that success. This is why Hill says money consciousness or love consciousness or peace confidence. And you have to develop, and I loved it because I think Louis said it. I'm not a fan of the word faith, although I use it and it's in Think and Grow Rich, but I love the word certainty, because when you become certain you can accomplish something and you know that you will, and you're passionate about it and you don't let anything prevent you, then you will. And so it's really an attitude. And what we discovered back many, many years ago is that attitude is the number one predictor for success in all areas of your life. All areas of your life. So, for example, motivation. People wait to be motivated. They think there are motivational speakers. Well, there are inspiring speakers, but motivation is an inside job. You don't get motivated from the outside, although in theory, someone can say, if you don't do that, I'm going to beat you up. But they're not motivating you. You inside go, geez, I don't want to get beat up, so I better do this. So you're motivating yourself. So when it comes to doing the things that you want to be able to do, you want to find ways so that you can win all along the way and motivate yourself. Muhammad Ali said, and we're fortunate to have, his widow here. And that is, he said, I hate training. I don't want to train, but I wanted so much to be, the world's greatest. He even said he was the greatest before he became the greatest, that he was willing to train because his desire to be the greatest boxer ever was more important than sitting on the couch and eating donuts. So, it's an important thing to understand these concepts. There's myths about motivation that it comes from the outside. There's myths about procrastination. There's myths about self-sabotage. And all of them are just concepts. They're labels. And what you say you have, if you say you have it, that's what you will have. So what you say, I'm getting lots of text here. So the point is that if you believe that you can, and you act as if you can, and by then I mean you start actually doing something in your own behalf, then you can learn to do almost anything. So, for example, what happens with a lot of people is they say, I'm going to clean my whole house this weekend. And of course, that's an overwhelming task. But if you say, you know what, I'm going to clean this closet, or I'm going to clean the top shelf of the closet, or I'm going to straighten out these clothes on this rack, then you're able to do a little bit. And in doing that little bit, and you get that done, you feel more like doing a little bit more because you win. And here's the important concept. Winners win and losers lose.
Losers make excuses.
Indeed.
Winners win, losers lose. Losers make excuses.
I'm glad you're back.
So thank you, Rex. You're a profound wealth of wisdom as well, brother. We are on standby for Dr. Khalilah Ali. I know that we're being patient, and thank you for being patient. You will be blown away by her and the learnings. And in the meantime, while we're waiting, because we're grateful for the technology gods, because the technology gods has got us this far, and the technology gods are going to take us all the way even further. So what's something that you and I can share? What's something? So yeah, I would put that on. So he's got a phone that vibrates, which is better than a phone that rings.
And they're blowing me up.
Bam, 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 bam. Yes.
I'm going to shut it off.
So what's something so we're actually resending this interview, which would take another, say, 2 or 3 minutes, maybe, or so. So what's something that in the meantime we can get into in Think and Grow Rich?
Well, so, I wanted to say something this morning to Satish, and you've studied neurolinguistic programming, correct?
Yeah. Okay. So I'm an NLP trainer, neuroscience trainer, timeline therapy trainer, hypnosis trainer, behavioral analyst. And if that wasn't enough, I'm also a miracle-minded coach.
Cool.
Personally trained and certified by Marianne Williamson, New York Times
Oh,
bestselling
how
author.
wonderful.
And I love my Course in Miracles. Yes, I've got all those tools that, yes.
So that is fantastic, and I love it. And I've been involved with NLP almost from the very beginning, and have contributed. And I didn't want to write a lot of books or anything because I was too busy training and doing seminars. But I wanted
There
to
you
point
go.
you know, and NLP is wonderful, and there's some myths in that too. You know,
Yes.
they would come along and say, well, you know, we don't want to know why we want to build models. We are the original modelers and everything else. But the real original modeler was Napoleon Hill. He had 520 people that he studied because Carnegie said, and he came and he put it together over a period of 20 years and built this model for all of us to do. Now, NLP is wonderful. I mean, don't get me wrong.
And can we share, just because there might be some people on here, you know, because they're familiar with Think and Grow Rich, of course, and they're familiar with Napoleon Hill and the movement and everything you just shared. They might not know what neuro-linguistic programming is. So can we just share it's powerful stuff. So neuro-linguistic programming, neuro mindset. I always ask people, how important is mindset? Most people say mindset's everything. You're right. It's everything. If you have the right mindset, you could have zero skill set. You're going to have the right mindset to learn the skill set and you'll be successful. Part number 2. So neuro mindset. Number 2 is linguistic. Language. How important is effective communication in our business and in our life? I adore one of our clients who wasn't able to make it today. And maybe she might end up being here tomorrow. If there is a tomorrow, don't know. Her name is Marty Rodriguez. She is the #1 agent in the history of the Century 21 system. In all years, even in the what do they call that, recession, she's making $2.5 million a year, regardless of what's happening. And I asked her, what's this key to your success? And other than she calls herself like a racehorse with blinders on. So she sees herself like a racehorse with blinders on. So she's sprinting and she's not distracted by anything on either side. Type in the comments if you're learning something from this Marty Rodriguez, and if you would like us to bring her. She had a funeral to attend and 2 huge listing appointments today. And that's the reason why she hasn't been here yet. But I'm wanting to introduce her to the Los Angeles Tribune newspaper. I'm wanting to introduce her to Think and Grow Rich Institute. Shout out again to Satish Verma. So there's not a day that Tony Robbins is on stage and he's talking to people in real estate and he doesn't call her name out in front of the room.
Right.
That's how famous she is. And she says the thing that's missing is effective communication. And so linguistic language, and we know who's the most important person we speak to.
Well, it's us, and
It's us.
That is what so many people miss. They think communication, because they speak, they communicate, which is wrong to begin with, the wrong premise. But 2, they always think it's this interpersonal communication, which is important, and it truly is. To be able to communicate, for us to be able to communicate, is truly important. But the other side of it is that self-communication.
Self-communication, yes.
How you talk to yourself, what you think about yourself, and how yourself talks or communicates to you.
Exactly. Self-communication. And then communicating with others. How do you speak into others listening? How do you there's people that are more, we all have different modalities. You know, people that are more visual, they like to buy the nice, pretty things, and they like colors, and they're very visual. And there's people that are not as visual. There's people that are super into, I've got to get a feel for this. How do I grasp this? They're more into the kinesthetic, which is the feeling. And there are people that are super into auditory. They're really good listeners and how they learn, like this podcast. And there are people that are more auditory digital, which we call analytical. So in speaking into the listening, we all have a preferred style of communication. And when we learn what a person's preferred style of communication, how they want to receive information, and we're able to speak into their listening. I'll give you a tool today. When you know someone is visual, or when you hear when they're speaking to you, and you hear that they are speaking in terms of, they speak in pictures. They're talking about, I was on the beach and then I saw this, and And then I woke up and I looked out, I see, I vision. These are people that are visual. Start using visual words because you'll speak into the listening. When you hear people talk about, you know, how it sounds and am I resonating with it? And I'm tuning in to what you're hearing. I'm listening. When you hear people use those words, then you can use the power of your voice and your tonality to create even more inspiration in them. And when you hear people that are kinesthetic, how they feel, they usually breathe lower in the stomach. And I'm getting a text. So actually, I think the file is a little bit big. So I am going to recommend that we finish with what we're talking about, Rex, right now. I don't think, unfortunately, right now, I don't think it's going to be possible for us to tee up Dr. Kalila. But I'm going to wait for the executive decision because I don't make the decisions. We got CEO of the LA Tribune, Mo Rock, we've already broken all the freaking records. We're like overachieving, and Ava, his incredible leader. So I think the file is too big. So we are going to perhaps create a less condensed file so that we can share that amazing interview with you. So,
and in the meantime, are we continuing our discussion or?
Yes, I would continue our discussion, and let's just pay attention to also what we executive decision from here. So let's just finish this one first, and we'll let our team know that it's just
when we're ready to segue into them.
Yes. Okay, so let's just finish this. So if you got a person that's analytical, how do you know? How do you know the person is analytical? Is what we call auditory digital. It means they're not talking about what it looks like or how it sounds or how it feels. They're more about steps. 1, 2, 3, A, B, C. Do you know people that speak like that? When you talk about their day, they always go, well, first thing I woke up, then I looked at my Rolodex, and then I looked at my calendar, and then first I did this, and then step 2, I got up and I did that. Everything is systematic and process oriented. So when you meet people like that, you want to speak in terms of, does that make sense? Is this logical? You want to speak in steps and procedures because you're speaking into their listening. Absolutely. So that's the second thing. So the first thing is mindset. How important is that? We know. Number 2, how important is language and effective communication? And then third one is behavior. Programming is your patterns of emotions and your behaviors. And what we've discovered, and why Think and Grow Rich is so big and ties into this so perfectly, is what we've discovered is most people know what they need to do.
Mm-hmm.
Most people know. You need to wake up early in the morning, get to the gym. You need to eat the right foods. You know that if you have a business and you want to have a product or service, you want to get out there to more people. You know that you need to make the phone calls. You know that you need to knock on the doors, whatever that is. Certainly you get to have systems and automation to make your life easier, but you know that you got to take action. So why is it that most people struggle? They know what they need to do, but they don't do it.
Hence my book.
Yes, they don't do it.
Live life on your terms.
Action is like a concept, right? It's a concept in their head. And some people, I know this is strange, some people can actually teach a seminar on action. They can get up and tell you, well, action's this, but action is not a concept. Action is I know this is so silly, so obvious, but for some people, they see it as a concept. It's a behavior. Action is a behavior. We need to get out of our heads. That's why I love this. Please type in the comments if you're a fan of Mel Robbins. Mel Robbins, the 5-second rule. Wow. That one was good. The 5-second rule. She shares in the 5-second rule that if within 5 seconds, if you have an inspiration to take action and go do something, if within 5 seconds you don't do it, she says your brain will talk you out of it. Your brain will give you all, why do I want to go out there? It's raining.
And
why do I want to go? I have to walk far to my car. Or I have to do this. Your brain's going to talk you out of it.
And you know where that comes from, Kayla? I mean,
yes,
it actually comes off of the half-second rule.
The half-second rule.
Half-second rule, which we teach in neurolinguistic programming is you say something to a person within a half a second, they've responded, and if you're not paying attention, you miss it. So one of the things that I'd like to point out about what you're doing and saying that's so valuable is that whether it's visual, auditory, kinesthetic, or analytical, or auditory, digital, or whatever, is we're pattern detectors. We are people who are looking at patterns of people. And why do we look at patterns? Because it's predictable. If you know what someone has done, you know what they're likely to do. And if you can tell whether they're visual, auditory, or kinesthetic, you can communicate with them in a much more efficient, effective, meaningful way. But primarily, if I tell you that somebody's visual and you go to see it, we're drawing our attention to the other person, which is what so few people actually do. They're looking, but they're thinking inside their head. They're looking or listening, but they're waiting to talk. And what we hope that people will do is to listen, to learn, and to view, to observe, so that you can notice what the patterns are, so that if you're benevolent and kind, you can assist them in changing patterns from those that don't serve them to those that do. So you're pointing out some really beautiful things, but it's really all about learning and learning how to do the things to be successful. And that half-second rule, or the 5-second rule, is absolutely crucial. If you don't take action right away with the idea or the concept, you either talk yourself out of it, or you lose it becomes a lackluster, or you drive along and you go, what was that I was going to do? So it's because you've moved on. So grab those moments, and very importantly, is
that's huge.
Learn how to pay attention to people, because the wealth of the information that you want is not in you; it's in the other person.
Yes. So we are super excited. We have an exciting announcement.
Oh,
the super exciting announcement is we are going to bring Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Yeah. We're going to leave the best for last, when you all have fresh minds, fresh hearts. It is official. It has come from the very top, from the CEO of the Los Angeles Tribune. It's come from the powerhouse, side by side, Ava, that we are literally going to bring you the best for last on officially day 5. Woohoo! I am so excited because you got Dr. Khalila Ali that's going to wake you up in the morning. You've got Angel and Patty Hernandez is going to teach you how to make $130 million in sales, in $2.5 million in commissions, how to take your money, invest in real estate. Oh, by the way, did he say this? He said this. He says, with no money, not your own money, how you can get involved in real estate, not using any of your own money, and buy something and flip it, buy something, flip it, buy something, flip it, and buy and hold. So we don't need to have to be working our butts off till we're like, whatever, 90 years old. We get to chill at some point and have residual passive income from what's considered I would consider the most secure wealth strategies in the history of man. Has always been real estate. It's tangible. There's no arguing with that. There's ups and there's downs, but it's not like anything else. It doesn't depart. It stays for good. So you're going to learn from him, and the best, the highest grossing #1 author, 400 million copies. I can't even process that. 400 million copies of a book. Please, 10,000 people buy my book. 400 million copies. That's Mark Victor Hansen. Tomorrow, I'm not sure. I'll get an official word right now what time we're going to be teeing up. And I also want to make an invitation to everybody. We are partnering up. Myself, all the guests that we had today, top 1% in real estate, top 1% in financial services, in the mortgage industry, network marketers, all of them. I'm bringing all of my Fortune 500 companies to partner up with the LA Tribune, and along with the Think and Grow Rich Institute, Satish Verma and CEO Mo Rock. And we're going to be collaborating on more free events. Wow. If you would like to be invited by myself to those free events so that you can attend Los Angeles Tribune and Think and Grow Rich events along with the community that I'm bringing, you can text the word TOP, T-O-P, to 26786. Text the word TOP, T-O-P, to 26786. And there is a free gift in that. And that is, how do you how do you sell to the 4 different personality types? Would you like a 1-page PDF that you can download to your phone, and it literally tells you how to sell your products, your services to the 4 different personality types? You get that for free just by texting the word TOP, T-O-P.
What's that number again?
It's the word TOP to the phone number 26786. T-O-P, TOP to the phone number 26786. You will also, I'm also going to be bringing the LA Tribune and the Think and Grow Rich Institute to our group of the top 1% in real estate, mortgage, financial services, and network marketing. So we have a Facebook group that has the top people that you will be invited to. I'm getting Mo in there, Ava in there, and the team in there, so that we can take this incredible platform, this new news media platform called the Los Angeles Tribune that is changing how we see news. We can bring this to Fortune 500 companies. We can make enormous amount of impact in the world, help people create wealth and freedom, while at the same time help the people that are struggling. So text the word TOP, T-O-P, to 26786, and then you'll get your free download. You'll get invite to the private closed Facebook group, and you'll get free invites to other events where we're going to be partnering up. We did have an incredible meeting with Mayor of LA, Karen Bass. We gave her a Lifetime Achievement Award. I will ask Mayor Paul Leon. We got a little late and we were not able to get him in tonight. I will ask Mayor Paul Leon to join the live interview tomorrow, given time, so you'll meet him as well. We are officially going to start at, I would say, let's keep the same time. Have we been starting at 10 a.m. each day?
Yeah.
I'm committed to be with you all at before 10, and I'm committed to be with you all the way through the end. 1 p.m., I believe we should be wrapped up by 1 p.m. With Mark Victor Hansen, the best for last. And then after that, I'm going to an event called WOW. What's that? It's called WOW. It's called Women of the World. Shout out to my incredible partner, Miss Veronica Buccelli. We have powerful women flying in from all over the world to an event at the Taglian Complex in Hollywood, in LA. And it is a fundraiser for veterans. So there is a veteran organization that is helping. What they actually do is they save people that are in war-torn areas who are in dire straits, needs of being removed. And then they work with veterans that suffer from post-traumatic stress disorder. And that's a very big cause. So it's called WOW. And if you want, you can, if you find me on Facebook and you want to know about the event, you can just look me up, Sir Kaya Redford. Send me a DM or send me a message on there. And then I can let you know about that. And I'm getting a text by someone saying she'd like to be invited. You're invited, Ava. You're invited. So actually, did I not say the LA Tribune is going to be at the event? The LA Tribune, we have, I think, it's a 10-course dinner, and we have, I believe, 200 or 250 people already committed. We have incredible sponsors. We have a whole group of women leaders that are speaking. If you know who Lady JB Owen will be there. Veronica Buccelli will be there. We have a gold medalist, a female gold medalist, Olympic gold medalist that will be speaking on stage, and other incredible leaders. And so it's a red carpet at 2 p.m. That's why I'm good till 1. Then I got to get on the road. At 2 p.m., it's going to be red carpet. It's at the Taglian Complex in LA, and it goes until 10 p.m. And it's a full banquet, music, dancing, fun, elevating, and raising money also for a worthy cause, which is saving people in war-torn cities, and then also helping the veterans that suffer from PTSD. And that being said, I guess we're going to see each other. Can I bring the woman, the leader, Ava, back to the stage? Because if it wasn't for you and your just your work ethic. 99% of this, I know that most people would go, well, that's not possible. It all boils down to one person. Trust me, 99. Mo might be a visionary, but if you've ever followed the entrepreneurial operating system, it's called EOS. You have the visionary, and then you have the integrator. The visionary has the vision. The integrator comes in and executes the vision, manages the project, tells people what to do, how to get it all done. And so you have a powerhouse and CEO, Mo Rock, and you have a powerhouse executor getting it done, Ava. And my brother Rex.
Thank you for the flowers, Sir Kaya. And I want to say Rex is not easily fascinated. For him to say on the chat, that he likes this guy, he loves this guy, I have to tell you that means a lot, because he's not easily fascinated as a mentor and as a master. So thank you, everybody. Someone prayed for day 5. I don't know who it is, but there's someone who prayed for day 5. Someone who has like some favorite place in heaven prayed for day 5.
And
so just with how systems are going, I think our systems are wanting to quit at the 10th, 11th hour of us being online. And so we'd like to see you all tomorrow. We come back at 10 a.m. on day 5 officially, without even blinking on that. Day 5 tomorrow.
See you at day 5.
I just want to add something, and that is, you're seeing Ava right now on camera, but her day starts way before she gets here, and it ends way after this thing closes down. And she's always crisp and fresh and does more than anyone I know could ever possibly do. And she does it, and she has a smile, and she has energy and enthusiasm, and she loves what she does. I mean, that is truly, when they say 99%, it's probably 99.9%, and then 9/10 of that. So, you are marvelous. And
I am very much inspired with all the generosity of all of our speakers, Rex. Like we see all of the generosity. Like right now, we have a whole lot of wealth. Wealth is access. Wealth is access from Dame Doria. Wealth is access to knowledge. Wealth is access to wisdom. And in this last 4 days, plus tomorrow, the 5th day, we just got so much wealthier. So I'm just excited to bring this all to you. And stay tuned. Register. I'm gonna put the Grow Rich 23. Make sure that you register, because we really have a lot of surprises for our community members. This is just the beginning. From here, you're gonna get recordings, key points to all of the speakers. There will be follow-ups to make sure that we really integrate it. Like Rex said a while ago, this is, the real work really begins the moment we go offline, right? Like integrating all of that we've learned, all that we heard in our life, and being surrounded.
Yes. And for those of you, just real quick, for those of you that do want to come to the WOW event with the LA Tribune, are hosting the red carpet there. We're going to do incredible interviews, get to meet a new slew of people live in blood. So this is in person. Just to make it easier, you can text that number 626-329-8001. If you see that, you can text that number. I'm just concerned if someone sends a Facebook message, sometimes they block it or Instagram blocks it. If you text that number, I'll put you in contact with how you can join that Los Angeles Tribune on the red carpet at the most bougie place in all of LA called the Tagleon Complex in Hollywood, and meet incredible people. And let's take this conversation live in person to the next level.
And I would like to leave everyone with some food for thought, and that is that every resource that you could possibly want or need right now, this instant, it exists somewhere, and someone has it. And all you need to do is attract them to you, or they to you to them. In other words, what's happening right now with the Tribune and with Kaya and the different things is so many beautiful resources, so much incredible potential is being coalesced and coming together. And it's from all around. It's from people with friends here and people with friends there. So when Ava mentions access, or Kaya says, hey, look, text because we have this opportunity, it's amazing. But everything that you could ever want or need, somebody has it right now somewhere in the world. I can promise you that a lot of it's coming right here. So stay tuned.
Stay tuned. Yes. Good night, everyone.
We'll be meeting